Ah, so our yoga practice today um, is a continuation of what we've been doing this week, which is trying to reduce anxiety. And we will be doing some great heart opening poses and, uh, those things. The yoga, any yoga class helps reduce stress, but we're going to add a little extra stress reduction programs. One of the things that I learned recently, well, I've always known this, and I know all of you have, but there is now a study that tells us that when you're under a great amount of stress or you feel anxious, um, recalling things that you are grateful for greatly reduces the level of stress. So that has been something we've known has been now proved. It's like science is finally catching up with these ancient practices. So, so that said, let's come inside and breathe. Close your eyes, bring your attention to your breath. Begin to deepen your breath. Breathing in new life. And your long, slow exhale, think about exhaling gratitude. Inhale and exhale. Make those inhales big and long, filling your lungs up, and make your exhales long and slow, relaxing your entire body. Continue at your own pace. Return to your natural breath and slowly open your eyes, taking in the light. Okay. We're going to begin in a child's pose. So if you like to use a blanket under your knees, you can put it on the mat now and come into your child's pose. Right up there on the top of my list of favorite poses. Take a breath and stretch your arms overhead for an extended child's pose. Your arms are straight, palms flat on the mat. And breathe. Come onto your right fingertips and thread your left arm underneath your right arm. Look under your right arm. Walk your left fingers away from you. And maybe if you lift your hips a little, your shoulder will come closer to the mat, but that's not entirely necessary. Flatten your right hand on the mat, unthread. finger onto your left fingertips, thread your right arm. Looking under your left arm, walking your right fingers away. Inhale, exhale, release. Come back to your extended child's pose. Look between your hands, lift your hips, send your heart between your arms, your legs lengthen behind you. So we do this pretty much every time. So we're going to do this 3 or 4 times. So let's go. And you can do this at your own pace. You're going to inhale, and on an exhale, send your hips back towards your heels. They don't have to touch. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, back. And keep that going. And pause when you have your heart forward so that you can feel the stretch in your body. Allow your body to stretch for you. Very gentle back bend here. Next time your hips are to your heels, pause. And this time you're going to come up into a cat back. So feel your spine arching all the way to the sky. And you're going to keep going so that you reverse it into a dog spine. You're going to turn under your toes. You're going to lift your knees away from the mat, downward facing dog. Get your dog aligned, your chest coming toward your thighs, your heels moving towards the mat. Your hands pushing the mat away, your arms are rotated outwardly. You're going to come forward to plank. You're going to place your left knee down on the mat underneath your hip. Swivel your right foot, line it up, your right arch with the toes of your left foot. Fan open to the right. Send your arm alongside your ear. Send your toes in the opposite direction. Maybe they'll lift off the mat just a little because you want to stretch that whole entire right side body. Inhale, exhale, bring it down, hand and knee. And we're going to do this on the other side. So your left leg will go back. You'll swivel your foot, line up, arch to toes, fan open. Send your left arm alongside your left ear. Send your toes away from you. Feel the stretch. Now your left side, whole body. Inhale, exhale, hand comes down, knee comes down. All right. You're going to come into a table. Wrists under shoulders, arms rotated outward, meaning the crease comes towards your thumb and index fingers, your knees underneath your hips. Let's do some cats and dogs here at your own pace. On an inhale, your spine curls towards the mat. On an exhale, it arches to the sky. So as you go at your own pace, give these poses time to form, time to set in. So no racing here. Allow your body to stretch. Allow your body reaction time. Arch your spine to the sky. Send your hips to your heels. Slide your fingers forward, come up, arms out and up. Bring your prayer to your heart. Come up on to your knees. Right. Send your arms out and up. Right arm goes down. I'm not mirroring you. This is my right arm, and your left is alongside your ear. You're reaching, a little bit more stretching. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, other side. Inhale, both arms up. Send your arms back behind you, Yoga Mudra, interlaced fingers. Inhale, exhale, send your heart up for a back bend, opening up your heart. Release your arms. Let your palms reach forward like you were basking in the sun. But what we're doing is opening up our hearts to relieve any tension, any anxiety, to let go of the negative, to bring the positive energy inside. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, bring the prayer to your heart. Exhale, arms back behind you. Interlace your fingers, baby back bend. Release your arms, open your heart. Arms overhead in a prayer. Bring it down to your heart. You're going to step your right leg forward and walk it forward. The farther away you walk your foot, the more you will stretch your left quads. So if that's something you'd like to do today, then I recommend it. So bring your arms up overhead. Inhale, exhale, slide your hips to the forward to the back of your right leg. Inhale, arms come down by your side. You're standing on your supporting left leg. Inhale, exhale, slide your hips forward. Feel the stretch in your left thigh muscles. Inhale. This time you're going to straighten your leg, your right leg. Inhale, slide forward. Exhale, bring your hands down to the mat. Straighten your right leg, bow over your leg, and you straighten your leg any amount, whatever works for you today. The more you stretch, the more you're going to work your hamstrings here. Straight. Inhale, come forward. On your next inhale, come all the way back up. Slide your hips forward. Exhale, your arms, hands reach the mat. Exhale, bow. Place both hands inside your right leg so that you can more easily bring your knee back where you found it and come back up onto your knee. Good. Step your left leg forward, walk it away. Arms alongside your ears. Inhale, exhale, slide forward. Inhale, come back up, bring your arms down. Inhale, slide forward. Inhale, exhale, slide forward. Inhale, come back to stand on your right knee. Exhale, come forward, bring your hands down to the mat. Lengthen your leg, bow over your leg. Inhale, exhale, inhale, arms up. Exhale, bring your hands to the mat, straighten your leg. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, hands to the mat, straighten your leg. Once more. Inhale. Exhale. Bring your left hand inside and your knee back where you found it. All right, great. Excellent. Okay. So we're going to do a few things to prepare us for our half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana, which we're going to do today. We're going to do it in a flow, but we're going to practice it on its own. And we're going to do a reverse half moon pose as well. So we're going to prepare for it by coming to a table pose. Get your alignment. You might want to walk to the front of your mat. If you have long legs especially, send your right leg back behind you on the ball of your foot. Swivel your foot, just like you did earlier, your right foot on the mat, it's flat. And you're going to fan open to the right. You're going to make sure your shoulder is over your wrist for support. Lift your right leg. Knee down, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. You're going to bring your hand down, bring your knee down. Left leg goes back. Swivel, fan, lift. Bring it down. So imagine that pose standing. That is Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. But now we're going to try it and do a little bit of a modification on our forearms. So come onto your forearms. Send your left fingers to your right elbow. Send your right leg back behind you on the ball of your foot. Swivel your right foot, same thing. You're lining it up with your left toes, the arch of your right foot with your left toes. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to fan open. Notice how it feels a little bit closer to the earth. Lift your leg. Now, when you're down this way, notice that your leg, it should be either hip height or higher, but you'll do whatever you can, right? Whatever works. And then bring it down. So it gives you a little bit more room to lift your leg when you're on your elbow. Okay, so let's try that on the other side. Come onto your forearms. Send your right fingers to your left elbow. Send your left leg back behind you, swivel your foot. Fan open. Get your alignment here, your feet lined up, your shoulder over your elbow, and then lift your leg. Bring your hand down, bring your knee down. And pause in child's pose. And come back up to table. So one of the reasons I chose to put the moon in here is because the moon cools us down, it calms us. It is a water element, and it is about flow, easy flow. So come, but of course we have to get strong, right? So you're in table, send your right leg back behind you on the ball of your foot. Left arm alongside left ear, lift your right leg. Okay, and let's see if you can hold this for a few breaths. Bend your right knee. Send your right ankle over to the left. Left arm takes left foot. And then try to square it back as much as you can. Look forward. Release your leg. Bring your hand and knee back down. Other side, left leg. Lift our leg first. Arm alongside ear, right arm alongside ear. Bend your left knee. Send your foot over to the right. Get hold of it. And then return your leg as much as possible so that your knee points comfortably to the earth. You're looking forward. And release it. All right. Right leg goes back. Lift it up hip high. Right arm alongside right ear. Bend your elbow, bend your knee. Inhale, exhale, nose to knee, elbow to waist. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, curl. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, curl. And keep this going. Next time you're in a straight line with your arm out and your leg behind you, pause. Bring your hand down, bring your knee down. Left leg goes back behind you. Lift it up hip high. If you're ever unsure that your leg, because it's hard, you can't see, is hip high, just make sure you can use your forearms to just make sure your hips are square. Right arm alongside right ear. Bend knee, bend elbow. Inhale, exhale, curl. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, keep it going. Bring your hand down. Bring your knee down. And pause in child's pose. Come back up onto your hands and knees. Send your right leg back behind you. Lift it up. Step it over your left. Look over your left shoulder to find your right foot. Bring your right knee to the mat. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders. Bend your right knee. Take it with your left hand. Open. Open up. Twist to the left. Release it. Lengthen your leg, lift it, cross it over, bring your knee back down to the mat. Left leg goes back. Lift it up, cross it over the right, look over your right shoulder. Bring your knee down to the mat. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders, your wrists. Bend your, that's left knee. Reach with your right hand to take your foot and open up. This is my sore knee, so I'm going to leave it alone. Bring your hand down, lengthen your leg, lift it, cross it over, and bring your knee back down. Bring your hips to your heels. So you're sitting on your heels. Vajrasana is what this is called. And we're going to put a little spin on Vajrasana to help your toes. And at the same time, we'll be opening up our heart. So you're going to lift your hips. You're going to turn under your toes like it was down dog, and then come back to sit on your heels. Ooh, yeah, how does that feel? Bounce a little. Inhale your arms up, open up your heart, bring your hands back down to the mat and flatten your feet. Bring your hips to your heels. And we're going to meet standing. So take your time coming up to stand. Okay. Come to your mountain, to Tadasana. You know the drill. Shoulders over hips, hips over ankles. Belly towards your spine, so you're engaging your abdominal muscles to lift your ribs up a little bit. Send your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Let your arms fall naturally by your side. Head over heart, chin level with the earth. Inhale, gather. Exhale, bring it to your heart. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale and exhale. So we're going to do some half sun salutations. Inhale. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, come halfway up to a flat back. Your hands could be at your shins, at your thighs, or streaming alongside your hips. Nice flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, fly out and up and bring it down to your heart. Twice more. Inhale, gather. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, fly out and up and down the center line. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, fly out and up and down the center line. Okay, so now we're going to do some full sun salutations. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, halfway, exhale. Right leg goes back, left leg goes back, plank. Come to your plank. Make sure your shoulders are over your wrists. Your back from the crown of your head to your heels is a straight line, like a plank. Knees, chest, chin, baby cobra. Melt back down. Turn under your toes, come through plank, downward facing dog. You could come through plank or bent knees for next time. So you always put your knees onto the mat. It makes it a little bit easier. And we usually take 5 breaths here in our dog. Then you'll step your right leg forward, your left leg forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Fly out and up, down the center line. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, halfway, exhale, fold. Left leg goes back, right leg goes back, plank. Let's hold our plank for a couple of breaths. Knees, chest comes between your hands, chin, baby cobra. You're not using your hands. You're just lifting your shoulders and your head away from the mat. Fold. Turn under your toes so you can come through bent knees to downward facing dog or through plank, whichever you prefer. Step your left leg forward, step your right leg forward, Uttanasana. Fly out and up and down the center line. Okay. So to make sure that I don't run out of time, we're going to pause for a moment and we're going to work on our half moon pose. So we're going to do it a couple of different ways, and using the chair is one of them. And you'll recognize what we're doing from what we did on our knees, okay? All right. So I have a block. This is one way. And what we're going to be doing later in our flow is coming into this pose from a low lunge. So let's start there. So come to a low lunge. And you're going to spring off your back leg, lift it up, bring the block underneath your shoulder and open up. Your toes are pointing this away from you. Arm reaches for the sky. And bring it down. Now on the other side, I will do it without a block, just on the mat so that you can see that variation. Yes, from low lunge. So you're going to come forward. You're bringing your weight over your supporting leg, and see what I'm doing in the back. I'm kind of like, it's like, gradually springing myself up. Come down, hand comes down, leg goes up, arm goes up, and maybe you look up, maybe not. Okay. Beautiful, what I'm seeing, lovely. And bring it down. Good, all right. Okay, so that's two variations. And now here's the third with the chair. So even though we'll be in low lunge, what you'll do, it's the same thing. You're going to spring off, but this time you're going to have your hand. So I have my right leg forward, right hand, forearm on the chair, across widthwise. Lift your back leg and open up. And this gives you lots of support here. Yeah. And bring it down. So that's a really nice way of doing it. We'll do it on the other side. You don't have to move your chair. I do so that you can see me. All right. So from low lunge, it's the same thing. You're going to spring off your back leg, lift your back leg, rotate it. Your forearm is on the chair. And bring it down. Great. All right. All right, so we're going to come to that in a little while. Or you know what, I changed my mind. We're going to do that next because it's fresh in your body's memory, what we just did. And so we'll do that flow first, and then we'll come to the other one I wanted to do. So I'm going to grab my block. Okay. So come to the top of your mat. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale your right leg back. You're going to place your right hand on the mat underneath your shoulder. Make sure your low lunge is strong and in line. You're going to place your left hand on your left thigh and twist into your belly button to your thigh. So do the twist first. I always prefer that because, and you've heard me say this before, it's not about how high your arm reaches, it's about how deep your twist is. Bring your hand back down to the mat, look down. Step your left hand inside your left leg. Swivel your right foot on the mat so that you're on the sole of. Press into your left hand and fan open to the right. You're going to put feet into your mat, come up with your arms exactly the way they were into Warrior Two. Beautiful transition right into two. Virabhadrasana 2. Your shoulders should be square with the long edge of your mat. Your feet either heel to heel or arch to heel. Inhale, exhale, down to your thigh. Inhale your left arm up into a peaceful warrior. Let's keep this a peaceful warrior. Inhale, exhale, bring your forearm to your thigh, your right arm alongside your right ear for a long side angle twist. Parsva Konasana. Kona means angle. Just straighten your leg. Bring your arm up so your fingers are pointing to the ceiling to come into your triangle. So in triangle, it's your hips that are stacking. Your hips stack in triangle. Your left arm should be inside your left leg. Do not put weight on your shin here. This is a weight-bearing pose. I know a lot of teachers teach to put your hand on your shin, and that is okay as long as you don't put weight on it, because your shin is in a vulnerable position with your weight on it. This is all straight lines, triangle. Inhale, come back to Warrior Two. Send your right arm forward, windmilling it down to the mat. Come to a low lunge. Okay. You're going to lift your leg, coming in to your half moon. Use the chair, put your forearm on the left forearm across the chair to come in to your half moon pose. Take your time getting there. And if you fall out, just try it again. It's okay to fall out. You know, remember when you first learned to ride a bike. Bring your foot down next to your left foot. Uttanasana. Fly out and up and down the center line. Oh, I forgot reverse Ardha Chandrasana. So we're just going to have to do that again. And I will show you reverse Ardha Chandrasana first. Okay. So I'm going to do it because most of you don't have a block. I'm going to do it this way. Okay. So I'm going to come into Ardha Chandrasana. And you know this pose. And then I'm going to bring my hand down to the mat or the floor and turn my pelvis so that it's facing a square with the mat. And my toes are reaching down to pointing to the mat. And then I'm going to twist in the opposite direction over my right knee. Lengthen your right leg for a Parivrtta Ardha Chandrasana, a reverse half moon. Bring your foot down. Uttanasana. And I'm going to show that to you with the chair, because that's important, right? So you're in Ardha Chandrasana with the chair, right? You take your left arm, place it in front of your right so that both forearms are on the chair. Your toes are pointing down. You release your right arm. You twist your torso to the right and bring it down. Make sure your chair is on a surface that doesn't slide. Okay. All right. Okay, so now we have to do the other side, and I'll do it this way. I need my block. All right. Mountain. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale halfway, exhale, fold. Left leg goes back. Low lunge. Place your left wrist under your left shoulder. You're going to twist to your right thigh, belly button towards thigh. I mean, it's toward is the operative word. And send your right arm up to the sky. Bring your right arm down inside your right leg. Swivel your left foot flat on the mat. Fan open to the left. Now, notice you are in your warrior two already. All you have to do is press your feet into the mat and come up into your warrior. Excellent. Remember square those shoulders. Remember, this is an open heart pose. It's an open hip pose, but it's also an open heart. Left arm comes down, peaceful warrior. Forearm to thigh. Parsva Konasana, side angle pose. Straight line from your fingertips to your foot. Straighten your leg. Twist into triangle. Bend your knee back to warrior two. You're going to lift your left arm, bring it down to the mat, windmilling to a low lunge. You're going to spring off your back leg, bringing your weight over your right leg, your block or your hand on the floor, under your shoulder, to open up to Ardha Chandrasana. Okay, so now let's see if we can make the transition from here. All right, so you bring your hand down to the mat. You've got two hands on the floor. And if you're using a block, if you happen to have one, you can just switch the block from one hand to the other. So what we're going to do now is make sure our pelvis is square with the mat. Our left leg is strong behind us, toes pointing to the mat like a warrior three. But the difference is you're going to twist toward the right for a reverse half moon. Bring your hand down, bring your foot down, Uttanasana. Fly out and up and down the center line. Okay. Okay, so we're going to, and I'm making the next flow short because of time, but there's a pose that when you go to yoga classes, you typically hear called flip dog because you're flipping your dog. And you'll see what I mean in a little bit. Or sometimes it's called rock star, or sometimes it's called wild thing. Very modern names for an ancient position. The correct name, or the Sanskrit name, is Karmatkarasana. And what that is, Karmatkara, is a miracle, but it means the ecstatic, it translates to the ecstatic opening of the unbounded heart. How beautiful is that? The ecstatic opening. So we're going to do that pose because it's such a great pose. All right. Okay. So we're going to start. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale halfway, exhale, fold. Send your right leg back, send your left leg back, downward facing dog. Before you leave your dog, make sure your dog is properly aligned so that your transition to the next pose is safe. Yeah. And maybe while we're here, we can walk our dog because we didn't do that before. So bend one knee and then the other to pedal in place to walk your dog. And come back to your dog. You're going to lift your right leg all the way up as high as you can. Bend your knee and open up your hips. So you do that by opening your hip, your knee towards the sky, and your right heel to your left buttock. Really open it wide. So you're going to look underneath your left arm. Look between, make sure there's no obstruction, nothing in the way. And you're going to step your right foot outside that left edge of your mat. Straighten your left leg, flatten your foot on the mat, and open up your heart. The ecstatic opening of the unbound heart. Oh. Inhale, exhale your hand down to the mat, back to down dog. You're going to go straight to the other side. Left leg goes up. Bend your knee. Open up your hip. And make sure your supporting leg, your heel comes towards the mat. So you're not up onto, you have more support than if you stay on the ball of your foot only. So if it comes closer. So look under your right arm. Make sure there's nothing in the way. Place your left foot down outside your right leg and straighten your right leg, foot to the mat. Open up that heart. Left hand comes down, downward facing dog. And you're going to walk your hands, your feet to your hands. Well, you could walk your hands to your feet. You'd just be at the back of your mat. Fold over. And stay in this inversion for a few breaths. And then you're going to place your hands on the mat. You're going to bend your knees, bring one knee to the mat, the other knee to the mat, to come down on to your mat into Dandasana. So in Dandasana, your legs are straight out in front of you. You're sitting with a mountain spine. Your legs are active, meaning your muscles are engaged. Toes to the ceiling, so feet are flexed, hands alongside your hips, fingers pointing forward. Bend your elbows are reaching back behind you. But you can push into the mat a little bit to get your torso taller, your spine nice and strong. And send your arms straight out in front of you, palms facing each other. I'm wiggling down my mat because we're going to come flat on our back. So if you need that room behind you, please do that. And you're going to count to 20 before your head hits the mat. Very slowly, no cheating. If, however, you feel that your back, you can't hold it, but that's where your abs come in, where your core strength comes in to hold your torso up. But if you don't want your back to slap on the mat, so bring your forearms down if you feel that's going to happen. In the meantime, try staying afloat. Staying afloat. Your heart is opening. Staying afloat. And you use your courage from your belly to bring yourself down. Okay, so I will wait a few breaths for everyone to get there. And then you're going to bring the soles of your feet to the mat. Lift your hips a little bit towards your heels so that you lengthen your spine. Your arms are alongside your body. Your legs, knees are in line with your sits bones. Your heels are in line with your sits bones. Imagine that you have a block between, and if you have one, put it there between your thighs or a pillow or something that you can squeeze to keep your legs strong and aligned. That's a great thigh strengthener. Squeeze that block. On an inhale, you're going to lift your hips, send your sternum towards your chin. Make sure you have nothing under your head so you keep your airway open. And see how high you can get your bridge. And maybe you want to bring your hands underneath your hips in Yoga Mudra and push your forearms into the mat to get a little higher. Make sure your knees do not splay open. You want to protect your knees. Release your hands if they're underneath your hips, and slowly, vertebra by vertebra, come down on to the mat. Slowly feel each little vertebra as you come all the way down. Excellent. Okay. And our final pose here will be an inversion. And the actual pose is called Viparita Karani, and it is it doesn't mean legs up the wall. That's not what those words mean, but it's called intense upward stretch, and it's legs up the wall, but we don't all have a wall. So this is a variation of that. If you want to put something under your hips, please do that. It gives you a little bit more height even when we're by the wall. And the legs up the wall, and you should consider doing this even at night before you go to sleep. It's like you're sitting on the wall. So you bring your hips as close to the floor, the wall where it meets the floor, and then swivel your legs up, straight up at the wall, just like we have them now. And the reason for this is that this is such a simple pose, but it does so much. It lowers your blood pressure. It improves blood flow, drains any excess fluids from your legs, and reduces stress. The evil S word. And you can do this on your own, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. If you want to put a little music on with your earbuds, but make it soothing if you're using music, soothing music. No dance tunes. Bend your knees, bring your feet to the mat. Lift your hips if you have anything underneath and remove it and come in to Shavasana. So you stretch one leg out, the other, let them open naturally, arms alongside your body, palms facing upwards, so you rotate your whole arm to make that comfortable. Your hands are cupped, fingers like lotus petals. And think about the life of the lotus, the symbol of enlightenment. It is also means purity of heart. It makes its way through muddy, muddy earth, through muddy waters, and it finds its way in and out, and it swirls all the way up to the top of the water, and these beautiful, pristine petals open up, suggesting everything is possible. Deepen your breath. Start to make gentle movements with your hands and your feet. Roll your head from side to side. Send your arms overhead behind you, your feet away from you for a deep, deep, full body stretch. Then bring your knees into your chest, hug them, and roll from side to side. Then come to center and roll over onto whichever side you prefer to come to a fetal position, a pose of rebirth. And then make your way up to sit, bringing your hands to your heart. Take your time getting there. If you are staying for meditation, I welcome you to get into a comfortable seat. Maybe you want to be in a chair. If you are leaving, I wish you a glorious day filled with gratitude. So meditators, bring your hands to your thighs. Crown of your head reaching for the sky. Feel your feet, if you're in a chair, flat on the earth in a grounded position. Remember, as we move through this meditation, that thoughts will interrupt, and that's okay. Just acknowledge them and do what I do, always say later, and come back to your voice. Come back to your breath. Think of my voice as your voice. And we are going to focus on some of the many things that we should be grateful for. We don't think about these things, though, because it's about ourselves, and that's very important. There's a Sanskrit term, dhanyavad, dhanyavad, and it means I feel gratitude. I feel it. It's very, very different, far deeper than thank you. That's cool. It's I feel it in my heart. I feel it in my body. Dhanyavad. So follow me now, if you will, on this corporal journey, thanking ourselves. Take a deep breath and bring your attention to the top of your head, the crown of your head, where spirit lives. And speak to this spirit, whatever that means, spirit means to you. God, the universe, a higher intelligence. Native Americans say the Great Spirit. Thank you. Thank you. Dhanyavad for being here with me. Dhanyavad for living inside of me, for giving me strength, for keeping me safe. And bring your attention to your eyes and to your third eye. Where your wisdom lives, where your psychic energy dwells. Dhanyavad. Thank you for allowing me to see beyond what my eyes can show me, to understand, to use my wisdom rather than my instinct, to use my wisdom rather than my books. Dhanyavad. Bring your attention to your ears. Feel your ears. Notice the shape of them. How sound travels through your from your outer ear to your inner ear. So that you may listen, so that we may listen more attentively without judgment. Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad. Bring your awareness to your mouth, to your throat. So that you may speak your truth. So that you may say what you feel with kindness. Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad. Bring your awareness to your neck, particularly your back neck, where all the tension resides. Breathe into it and release it. Breathe into it and release it. Let it go. Let it go. Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad. Bring your attention to your shoulders, the expanse of your shoulders. And imagine that your breath lands at your shoulders as if fingers massaging your shoulders to release your burden, to let it go. Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad. Bring your awareness to your arms. Feel them weightless, as if they could float. As you are reminded of all the things you can do with your hands, how you can express yourself better using gestures, how you can hold, hug, embrace tighter to show your love, your compassion. Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad. Bring your attention to your heart center. Feel your heart beating. Feel the rhythm of your heartbeat. And feel it pulsating. at your wrists, at your ankles, at your neck, and all throughout your body, giving you life. When you breathe in, feel your breath fueling that heartbeat. Imagine all those you love. And fill your heart with that feeling of love, that glorious, joyful feeling. Danya Vad. Danya Vad. Allow it to stay with you. Bring your attention to your belly, your solar plexus. And notice how when you breathe, your belly expands. When you exhale, it contracts. This is like a furnace churning, stoking your courage, making us fearless. Danya Vad. Danya Vad. I am fearless. Allow your awareness to come to your seat, to your legs, the extension of your foundation, so that you may feel grounded, strong, stable, connected to the earth, able to move and go where your life's journey takes you. I am grounded, Danya Vad, Danya Vad. Bring your attention back to your heart. I am love. To your throat, I am my true self. To the crown of your head, I am with spirit. Danya Vad. Bring your awareness to your wholeness, from the top of your head to your toes. Your whole beautiful body that holds so much, for which we are grateful. Thank you for allowing me to live this glorious life. Danya Vad. Bring your hands to your heart. Bow your head. Roll your shoulders. Wiggle your toes and your fingers. Just move about. Just feel your whole body moving. And then as you lift your head up to neutral, open your eyes. Thank you all for being with me here today. Danya Vad.